Hello students, this is the third part in series of Telangana videos by Shikara Academy. Now, in this video, let's look at some more topics on the recently released Telangana budget. Secondary sector, manufacturing and construction recorded a growth of 21.5% in Telangana, and the services sector put up a growth of 18.3%. Now, the point to be remembered here is in 2020-21, manufacturing and services sector are estimated to contract, which means in the previous fiscal, these both sectors experienced a contraction, whereas in this fiscal year, these both sectors recorded a growth of 21.5% and 18.3% respectively. Now, Palle Pragati scheme. What is the scheme? What are the objectives of this scheme? Now, in the current budget, 3,330 crores were allocated to Palle Pragati or transformation of villages, and 1,394 crores allocated to Pattana Pragati or development of towns. Now, what is the objective? Objective to make villages and towns clean and green and resolve local issues. This scheme was launched in September 2019. Now, during or under Palle Pragati scheme, tractor dump yards, Vaikunta Dhamams, nurseries, village natural forests, Raitu Vedikas and threshing grounds were provided to the villages. Now, under Pattana Pragati, these were the activities that were taken place, like sanitation, garbage lifting, debris removal, cleaning of roadside bushes, number of public toilets cleaned, monsoon activities like desilting of stormwater drains, number of dilapidated houses demolished, low-lying areas filled to avoid waterlogging, and preventive measures against vector-borne diseases like areas fogged and sprayed, total houses covered, anti-larval operations, and under greenery, there were total number of plantations were taken place, and number of homestead plantations were distributed. So these were all the activities that were done under Pattana Pragati scheme. Now, coming to Mana Ooru Mana Badi program. Now, almost 7,300 crores were allocated to Mana Ooru Mana Badi program to strengthen infrastructure in schools. Now, under these, for rural areas, almost 3,500 crores were allocated, and the rest to urban areas, which is called Mana Basti Mana Badi program. Now, what is the aim of this program? The scheme follows the commencement of measures to introduce English medium in all government schools across the state. So basically, the idea of this program is to revitalize education in government schools. So Mandal is taken as unit for the scheme, not the district, but Mandal is taken as the unit for this scheme. Now, under Mana Ooru Mana Badi program, the state government will be developing 26,000 government schools across the state with an outlay of 7,289 crores in 3 phases. So, the areas where questions will be asked in the examinations include the kind of program, the main aim of the program, and the total budget allocation for both rural and urban areas, and how many government schools and in how many phases will the program be implemented. Now, apart from that, there is also an announcement of 100 crores for the first women's university in the state. Apart from this, 100 crores is also allocated to upgrade Forest College at Muluguru into Forest Universities. These two is besides the implementation of Mana Ooru Mana Badi program. Now, coming to medical colleges, 1,000 crores is allocated to the establishment of new medical colleges in these following districts. Now, the names of these districts are important from the prelims point of view. Medak, Medchal, Rangareddy, Muluguru, Warangal, Narayanpet and Gadwal districts. Now, the another important point which you need to remember here is the Telangana government would establish government medical colleges in all districts in the next 2 years. So the questions they can ask questions like this: Telangana government would like to establish private colleges or encouraging private players to establish private colleges, or government is willing to establish engineering colleges or arts colleges or medical colleges. So questions can come like that. Now, besides Telangana Institute of Medical Science Systems at Gachibowli, three more super specialty hospitals would come up in three corners of Hyderabad, that is at LB Nagar, Alwal, and Yaragada. Now, these places are also important from the prelims perspective. Around 2000 beds were added to NIMS, and 2000 bed super specialty hospital would be constructed as part of Health City project in Warangal. So this place is important here. A 2000 bed super specialty hospital would be constructed as part of the Health City project in Warangal as announced by the current year budget. Now, under construction of houses, around 4 lakh beneficiaries were identified. 12,000 crores was allocated to provide 3 lakh rupees per beneficiary to construct 2-bedroom houses for poor people who have house sites. Now, under Old City Metro Works, Hyderabad Metro Rail has received allocations to the tune of around 2,400 crores in order to complete the connectivity to Old City from MGBS and from Imlibam to Falaknama. New proposed metro rail to the Samshabad airport has been allocated around 377 crores in collaboration with Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. Now, the important point here is last fiscal only 1000 crore were allocated to the development of Hyderabad Metro Rail, whereas this year around 2400 crores were allocated under this project. Coming to the social sector, health. Now, this year 11,237 crores were allocated, which is a huge rise of almost 5,000 crores when compared to the previous fiscal. So this rise is almost 78.5%. So when compared to previous financial year, more almost 5,000 crore more budget was allocated towards health in the current financial year, and this area is very important. Now, the allocation, these 11,000 crore allocation includes 5,700 crore under scheme expenditure category and around 5,000 crore under establishment expenditure category. Now, what is scheme expenditure category? Under this, government will undertake or implement certain schemes regarding health or establish certain colleges, hospitals, etc. Now, under expenditures, establishment expenditure category, government will be using these funds in order to spend towards salaries or maintenance of the institutions. Now, for the current fiscal, the allocation has increased for various aspects under the scheme expenditure. For example, 1000 crore for construction of medical colleges and hospitals, and 1000 crore for construction of super specialty hospital. Now, the important point here is the allocation of the two categories in the previous fiscal was zero. So, under scheme expenditure category, under these two categories, construction of medical colleges and hospitals and construction of super specialty hospitals, budget allocation is improved from 0 to 1000 crores. Now, apart from this, the allocation of the National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer and Diabetics, cardiovascular diseases and strokes has increased from 4.5 crore to 308 crore. So under this program, the budget allocation was increased from 5 to 308 crores. Now, besides that, the scheme expenditure for primary health centers and the expenditure for prevention and control of diseases did not see any increase. No, the point you need to remember here is there is no increase in budget allotment, but the budget was allotted to these two programs. Now coming to welfare, around 15% of the total outlay was allocated to benefit backward classes, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, minorities, and women and child welfare. So around 15% was earmarked for the welfare of the minorities. Especially under this welfare category, the enhancement was primarily on account of the implementation of Dalit Bandhu scheme. So this scheme has received utmost importance with a provision of almost 17,700 crore rupees. Now, what is the scheme? This is a financial empowerment scheme for Dalits involving a one-time grant of 10 lakh rupees each to eligible Dalit families for promoting entrepreneurship. So, 17,700 crore budget allotment, Dalit Bandhu scheme, financial empowerment, 10 lakh to each family for promoting entrepreneurship. These are the points that you need to remember. Apart from this, a provision of 3,500 crores was made in the budget for tribal welfare, 1,700 crore for minorities welfare, and around 1,900 crore for the welfare of women, children, and senior citizens. So tribal welfare received a major chunk, that is 3,415 crores. You need to remember the order in which the allotments were made. Now, the government has provided an extent of 87.3 acres of land for the construction of 41 BC community halls in the state capital, and they're being taken up with an outlay of 95.25 crores. Apart from this, for the welfare of BC communities, an amount of 5,698 crores is proposed in the budget, which is much higher than the budget allocated to tribal welfare. Again, I'm stressing this again and again. You need to remember the order in which, or increasing or decreasing order in which budget was allocated to these areas. Now, the minister also mentioned the steps taken up for the welfare of Brahmins and Archakas. Now, under this Dhupa Deepa Naivedyam scheme, around 3,645 temples of the state get a grant of 6,000 rupees per temple per month to conduct pujas in the temple. Now, the scheme is to give or provide financial assistance to maintenance of temples and salaries of archakas. Government has now made a provision to provide 10% reservation to economically weaker sections and communities in government jobs, as well as admission to educational institutions. So the 2 points you need to remember here, or the questions that may arise, are 10% reservation to economically weaker sections and towards government jobs, as well as admissions to educational institutions. The government also announced 1 lakh building and construction workers would be given motorcycles on subsidy. These are all the various welfare schemes announced in Telangana's budget for the year 2022-23. Now coming to the Home Department. Last year, the Home Department saw a proposed allocation of 7,200 crores. Now, what all developments happened under Home Department since the formation of the state? Strengthening of surveillance system happened with an estimated 8.8 lakh CCTV unit installations across the state. Now, in the 7 years of the separate state so far, 7 new police commissionerates, 10 new police districts, 25 police subdivisions, and 31 circles were created. Now, let me repeat this point again. 7 new police commissionerates, not the total number of commissionerates, and 10 new police districts were created since the state separation. Now, an allowance of 75,000 per police station per month in the city, pollution hazard allowance for traffic personnel, and a total of around 29,000 new posts were filled in the police department since the separation of the states. Also, Hyderabad City Police's command and control center was also ready for inauguration. Now, this is a list of commissionerates in the Telangana state: Cyberabad, Hyderabad, Karimnagar, Khammam, Nizamabad, Ratchakonda, Ramagundam, Siddipet, and Warangal. Now, ASARA pensions. What is this scheme? This is a pension scheme that was started on 8th of November 2014 in Kothur in Mahabubnagar district. Now, these points are important. When was it started and where was it started? Mahabubnagar district and in 2014. Now, it is a welfare scheme of pensions to old people, widows, Gaud community, elephantiasis patients, AIDS afflicted people, physically disabled, and BD workers. Now, in this budget, there were few changes that were made to this ASARA pension scheme. According to the changes, they reduced the age limit from 65 to 57, and this is to be implemented for all the social security pensions, and towards this 11,728 crores was allocated under this ASARA pension scheme. Now, apart from reducing the age limit, government also increased the quantum of pensions being given to poor people from 200 rupees to 2016 rupees to old age people, widows, AIDS patients, handloom workers, and toddy tappers. Now, this is very important. The budget or the pension was increased from 200 to 2016 rupees to these categories of people. Pension to differently abled was increased from 500 to 3016. Now, single women, BD workers, and filaria patients will get a pension of 2016 rupees per month. During the last 7.5 years, the government has spent an amount of almost 47,000 crores towards this ASARA pension scheme. So the points you need to remember here is the reduced age limit and increased quantum of pensions to various categories. Let us wind up this video with a practice question. For ASARA pensions, the age limited is reduced to. The answer is 57 years. The age is reduced from 65 to 57 years. Let us look at another question. The growth rate recorded by manufacturing and construction for the year 2022-23 is, or for the previous fiscal, the answer is 21.5%, whereas the services sector put up a growth rate of 18.3%. Now, this is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you and happy studying.